Model 3 looks to be on track for its production goal. Management is about to be reduced. A hackathon is in progress to solve production issues. And we get a peek at the development of Autopilot. This is Tesla Tidbits, episode number 403 for May 15th, 2018. We begin today's show at Teslarati, where they have a story that Model 3 production is now at or approaching 4,000 per week. I neglected to mention this side of yesterday's story when reporting on all-wheel drive, performance, and white interior being released for order at the end of this week. Elon had previously stated, recently in fact, that these features wouldn't be coming until Tesla had reached the 5,000 per week production milestone. Our first clue that this was imminent was the announcement of the availability of these features. However, we've got some more sources close to the company seemingly corroborating this chain of thought. A source from the Fremont factory said that following the recent shutdown, the Model 3 production line has surpassed the 4,000 cars produced per week mark, and at least for 1 week, the line kicked out 4,290 cars, peaking at 638 for a single day. Another source, Bloomberg's online tracker, is also projecting that the plant is at a 4,000 production rate. With several sources seemingly agreeing, hopefully we'll get some more official confirmation soon. Over to Electrek, where big changes are afoot at Tesla. Elon talked about big changes on the most recent earnings call, but they were mostly centered around the ousting of underperforming contractors. Turns out, that wasn't all. In the latest company-wide email sent out, Elon detailed, quote, a thorough reorganization, end quote, of the company. Quote, to ensure that Tesla is well prepared for the future, we have been undertaking a thorough reorganization of our company. As part of the reorg, we are flattening the management structure to improve communication, combining functions where sensible, and trimming activities that are not vital to the success of our mission, end quote. To me, this sounds like the winds of change sweeping through the company to guide it toward the promised profitable Q3 and Q4 this year. Between the contractors and the management reorganization, it's a great start. Moving over to Twitter, apparently we've got a pair of significant obstacles on the robot assembly line, so much so that Tesla has launched a hackathon to attempt to resolve them. In response to an Ars Technica article criticizing the company for making the same mistakes GM did in the past, Elon responded, quote, fair criticism, but we're fixing it fast. Hackathon going on right now to fix 2 worst robot production choke points. Looks promising, end quote. We'll certainly find out in the not-too-distant future if Tesla is able to make it work. While GM apparently made a pile of mistakes in traveling this road in the past, I believe that Tesla has the chops to innovate and overcome. Finishing out the show, we stick with Twitter again, where Elon gives us some interesting insight into Autopilot development. Many have speculated what the internal camera equipped on Autopilot 2.5 cars might be for, but I think it's safe now to say that we know what it's not for. Elon responded to a Wall Street Journal article posted by TechMeme alleging that he put the kibosh on eye tracking being a part of the Autopilot system to ensure driver attention due to the costs it would bring. However, according to him, this isn't the case. Quote, this is false. Eye tracking rejected for being ineffective, not for cost. Wall Street Journal fails to mention that Tesla is the safest car on the road, which would make article ridiculous. Approximately 4 times better than average, end quote. It almost would seem that Tesla thought, hey, let's throw a camera inside the car in case we ever decide we can use it for something, and thus, AP 2.5 got an internal camera. Also interesting that Elon felt the technology is ineffective when others have certainly trod this road. But then, this wouldn't be the first time that Tesla shunned a technology while others embraced it. Lastly, a little PS, if you will, I've got an editorial note for everyone. I wanted to acknowledge that there have been a few stories recently involving Tesla crashes that outlets have been covering that have been noticeably absent from the show. In case you don't follow the show on Twitter, which you should, I wanted to ensure that you're aware of why you're hearing nothing about them here. The bottom line is that a car crash is not news. Cars of all makes and models crash hundreds if not thousands of times per day, and this is not headline news, unless it's a Tesla, and then national outlets pick it up and disseminate it. Folks, if there is actually a newsworthy event on one of these, believe me, I am covering it for you. But these latest crashes are outlets looking for clicks with a negative Tesla headline, in my opinion. This show operates with your valuable time in mind as a base principle, and I'm not wasting your time on things that aren't news. I'm of the mind that it's best to starve a fire of oxygen to put it out, and that's exactly what I intend to do. You can check out the links to the full stories in the show description. While you're doing that, please consider supporting the show financially through Patreon at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. Thanks so much to our super patrons out there supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They are John Waltower, Drew Schuyler, John Waller, Mark and Sarah Thomas, Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Bruno Quindici, Joey Boots, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Adam Raymer Brown, Megawatt Photovoltaic Development, Todd Sullivan, Robert Healy, Mitch Long, and Zortec LED Canada. If you can't support with dollars, be sure to show your love with positive reviews and subscriptions on YouTube, iTunes, and other services across the internet. That's it for today's episode. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. I'll see everyone back here again tomorrow. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.